without fail every single week.
Goodness.
I'm gonna start getting this. I'm gonna start getting things set up at least beforehand. It's not supposed to be this way, obviously. So
Smart.
anyway, hats off. Hats off. I'm gonna do the hats off, and we're gonna talk about the billboard shaming.
Okay.
And let's see. Let's see. Who else is gonna do a hats off with me?
Who usually does?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the same person all the time.
I think we got it all mixed up.
Yeah. Who's ready? That's what it comes down to, I guess.
Oh, no, that's not what
I
I'm
can do it.
All right, hold on one
Okay,
sec.
you go, Kara.
Where did my last story? Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so Kara, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide who I'm going to tip my hat or take it all the way off to. You guys, from the time we're recording this, this is a couple weeks old, but and we've made it pretty clear that I am a big Scandal fan. Love the TV show Scandal. And so this last couple weeks ago, the winter finale for Scandal aired, and it apparently hit a lot of nerves on a lot of different sides of the issue of abortion, because they actually showed Olivia Pope like getting an abortion. I mean, she's not obviously really getting one, but they showed her character getting one. And as I was watching it, they're playing Silent Night in the background. It was very like distasteful, but like in me, I felt like this is uncomfortable, and they're showing like how like terrible, devastating this thing is. And then afterwards, the internet was just filled up with people saying, "I'm so proud of Olivia, so proud of all these wonderful choices they're showing," and I just think hats off to America for watching an abortion and saying, "Whoa, that's great." Way to go,
Wow.
America. Way to go.
Wow.
I would like to say, as the other frequent Scandal viewer in the audience, that it's still on my DVR and I haven't seen it. So thanks for spoiling that, Kara.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
How
you know
have
what?
you not heard this yet? It was seriously
Oh,
all
I
over
heard.
Facebook.
I heard it, and
Okay.
I realized that once 3 weeks has gone by, a no spoilers policy has fallen by the wayside. So spoil away.
All right.
Quick question. Kara, was Kent
Yeah.
breaking up to you just now as well?
No.
Okay, cool.
Kent, was Kara breaking up to you?
A little bit, along the way,
That's on
but
our end's recording, though.
No,
Mm.
it's recording the program, so it's fine. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Great.
all right.
so hats off
so
to America. Hats off to America.
Yeah.
For being terrible people.
So how twisted it ended up.
man,
Yeah, I know. It
but
kind
that
of
does
like,
that.
it almost should be like more of a thing we discuss, but I just had to throw it out there. I was looking at other news stories, and I was like, nothing really just gets me in the heart like that Scandal.
And I'll tell you, Kara, I'd like to appreciate and applaud your clarifying when you said that Olivia Pope got an abortion. Well, no, not in real life. I'm thinking now,
Right,
if
because
Kerry
she's not a
Washington
real
had done
person.
that would be commitment. If she had done it in real life, that's selling out for a part. I mean,
Yes. Amen.
Wow.
yeah.
Now I gotta say though, the choice in song, Silent Night, Holy Night, obviously is it's a winter finale, so it's Christmas time in the episode. But it is reminiscent of the scene in The Godfather where he is being baptized, or I believe it's baby dedication. It's been a long time since I've seen it. No, it's baptism. The priest is asking, do you renounce the ways of the devil? And he says, yes, I do. And in the next scene, like you see this car exploding. He says, and are you going to follow Jesus? It's like, yes, I will. And you see these people being gunned down because he's, this mob boss. So you're seeing kind of this juxtapositioning. So the idea of singing the song Silent Night, Holy Night, an unwed mother bringing the king of the world into existence. If anybody was in a place to have an abortion, it would be this woman who did not have sex with anyone.
Right.
Now, if there's a reason, that seems like a reason,
about,
right?
Unplanned pregnancy.
Right, unplanned pregnancy, right? If we're going there, obviously I don't think she should have aborted Jesus, and thank God she didn't. But juxtapositioning the song Silent Night to this woman having an abortion in this show seems pretty interesting and kind of very reminiscent of The Godfather. If you haven't seen The Godfather, you need to see The Godfather because it's one of the greatest movies of all time. Not to be confused with movies like Braveheart, which some people think is... The Godfather 2 was excellent as well. It was The Godfather 3 that was not.
Here's the thing.
But let's not go there. We don't have time.
Uh-oh.
Here's the thing about Braveheart.
Too late. We're going there.
No, I just want to say for the record, and in all honesty, at no point have I ever liked it. That's only funny if you're someone who's not Kara. So never mind. Cut it. Anyway.
Well, I don't understand.
Kent happened to be at our church today. Well, we attend the same church. He happened to be at the campus that we attend. And somehow afterwards we were kind of just talking, and we talked about Braveheart, and he talked about how he ended up liking it so much. He thought it was the best movie ever when he saw it. But apparently it was like a 150-degree day, and the power went out in his house, so he went to the movies, and they had air conditioning, which, of course,
that may have played into
played into his
the like of the movie. Sure.
The movie Braveheart. So
anyway,
inside joke that I just explained, which makes it far less funny. But either way, my hat's off. My hat's off. If you don't know, Star Wars is about to come out again.
Hold on.
This is brand new information.
And the only way you don't know that this movie is coming out is you are dead. that's pretty much it. And even Amish people know Star Wars is coming out at this point. I'm assuming. I've never met an Amish person, and haven't talked to them about Star Wars, but I'm assuming that they would know. Because you can't go out in public without being advertised to. You can't go to the grocery store without seeing Star Wars. I was at the mall today, of course, walked by Pottery Barn. They had the whole front window decorated in Star Wars, Lego store, Star Wars, everything's Star Wars right now because the new one is about to come out. I actually have my tickets in my back pocket. And the reason why I'm bringing up Star Wars is because of those who have watched Star Wars will get the humor in this. Here's the story. A man tries to run over ex-wife, hits 14 vehicles and a house.
Oh, wow.
So apparently she married a stormtrooper, as he did not hit her, but hit everything else but her.
Wow. Wait, 14
vehicles.
And a house.
Yeah, at that point,
wow.
It's intentional.
Like, how is the car still moving?
She's really fast. She's like zipping around.
He caused $19,000 worth of damage. And, okay, so he's now facing a number of charges, including 1 count of third-degree assault, 1 count of fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon, 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child, 1 count of first-degree reckless endangerment, 2 counts of second-degree reckless endangerment, 5 counts of third-degree criminal mischief, and 8 counts of second-degree criminal mischief.
Like, I want to know
what I don't see on here is attempted murder.
Right.
That's the thing.
I'm wondering, at what point, maybe the third or fourth car, he's like, maybe I should stop doing this. It's like, no, I've come this far. I'm not giving up.
Which is to say nothing of the material charges he's facing.
Right. I also want to know what kind of vehicle he was driving that made it through 14 cars before finally being stopped by a house.
Hey,
I feel like that
to the maker of that car.
I'm just saying.
I know, right?
That's a vehicle that withstands some wrecks. Collision. We should look into that.
We should invest in that vehicle next time. Oh my gosh.
You want to run each
only
other over.
19,000. That's actually a surprising figure. 14. A little over 1,000 a car, not counting the house.
Your lack of driving skills is... Anyhow. Yeah, so she married a stormtrooper. Couldn't hit the broadside. If you don't understand that reference, stormtroopers shoot at everything, shoot at the heroes, but always miss the heroes. They always hit everything but the heroes. So that's what this guy did. He hit everything but his ex-wife. Thank God he didn't hit his ex-wife, but hats off to that guy being really committed. Really committed.
Like movie where they run and everybody's shooting and how somehow no bullet hits them.
Yes.
They're like run.
Which was totally taken
through.
from Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's totally taken from Star Wars.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyhow, hats off to that guy. Merry Christmas to that guy.
He doesn't get Christmas now. Like,
He'll be spending Christmas in county jail, county lockup, thinking about all 14 cars. He's not going to have insurance after this. Okay, so let's see. We're going to be talking about this billboard shaming thing. All right. So I'm going to go to this story. Sorry, our internet's acting a little slow here today. And
Comcast?
Yeah, I know. What are the odds? Obviously this part's going to be cut out anyway, but so the title of the article is People's Racist Facebook Comments Are Ending Up on Billboards Near Their Homes. So, racist commenters beware, your words might show up in your own backyard. A new campaign in Brazil, so this is taking place in Brazil, not in the United States, is plastering billboards with racist Facebook comments. The point is not to expose anyone, but to educate people that their words have a real impact. The campaign, Virtual Racism, Real Consequences, is using the location tag from Facebook posts to find where the offenders live. The group is then buying billboard space in their neighborhoods, but blurring out the names and photos of the commenters. The comment roughly translates to, I got home stinking of black people. Preto is an offensive way to say black in Portuguese compared to negro, which is neutral. It goes on and on. But basically, people are going on Facebook. They're saying stuff to their friends, their family, whoever's following them, depending on their privacy settings, and they say something incendiary, whether it be racist, whether it be political, whether it be whatever. It seems in Brazil it's if it's racist, and these people are taking out billboard space and putting up people's racist comments. So the person I saw post this said, we need to have this in America. This would be a great idea. This would keep people from saying these stupid things. And I wanted to know what your guys' thoughts are. It's kind of a clever piece of showing people, or a clever means of showing people how their words have impact. And that you can't just say these kinds of things. But it's also kind of a form of shaming in a way.
Well, it's going back to that shaming a kid so they don't do something. That can be good and bad.
Okay. So everyone's thoughts. Just kind of initial thoughts on this billboard thing.
Yeah, my initial thought, I had to read it through a few different times to kind of form my opinions or feelings on it, but at first I didn't really understand the point. I couldn't really get what good that would do, because I guess my thought was that we're just putting racist slogans, racist things out there for the world to see and drive down the highway, and remember, people are, buttholes. Sorry, I was trying to censor myself. Yeah, and so I didn't totally understand why that was doing a good thing. Especially because the shaming thing, if they're not showing the person's name or their picture, it's just kind of just making. And so I guess the only point I could really think was either the person who said that thing is going to see it and think, wow, I probably shouldn't have said that, or that it's just going to remind people, maybe people who think that racism isn't a problem, maybe make them think that actually there are people that really do think like this. But I guess I just don't understand why that would seem like a great way to handle it.
Let me take what Kara said and amplify it in a way that her kind and tenders can't express. What an epic, stupid waste of time and money. Because when I first saw the idea of billboard shaming, maybe it's because I'm a bad person, I saw this and I thought, what a great idea. This seems like a fantastic idea. When you put something out on Facebook, it is for, I mean, you are signing off that this is for the world to see, and people need to live with the consequences of their actions. And then I kept reading a little more, and it's, oh, people don't have to live with the consequences of their actions. Their picture is blurred out. Their name is removed. What they said is out there. Nobody knows that it's them. I just looked up the cost of advertising on one billboard for 1 year. And the cost of advertising on one standard size billboard for 1 year is I didn't look at it. It was $2,500 a month. If you have $2,500 a month to give to a project that won't accomplish anything, give it to me, and I will accomplish nothing with it. Because
I tell people when they go to the casino, I'm like, you know what? You could just come to my house. I could flash some lights in your face. I could blow some smoke in your face.
Drop
and you
the
can
money
pay
off
me
here.
all that money you're going to blow
Give me your
anyway.
money.
Just drop it off here. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Wasted
interrupt
time.
your thought. Just that's so funny.
No.
Yeah. When I'm looking at it, I'm just like, I think a lot of us are kind of, we're, for the most part, I think we're going to be on the same page in terms of the effectiveness of a campaign like this, especially when they're not showing the name in the face, right? But I think the people that I encounter who want this kind of thing in the United States, who think it's a brilliant idea, are suggesting, well, let's not remove the face, let's not remove the name, let's publicly shame these. Hey, well, or not even publicly shame, but I guess it is a form of shaming. But hey, you know what? If you're willing, I guess the mindset is, if you're willing to say this kind of thing in public, because like you said, Facebook is a public forum, right? Unless you set your privacy settings otherwise. But if your friends see it, they can screenshot it and put it out, whatever. But it's a public forum, so if you're willing to say these things in public, why shouldn't you want your racist rant put up on a billboard? Are you not willing to live with with your words? I mean, if that's what you believe, you can't run around saying, "Oh, those are my private beliefs. I'm saying it on my own Facebook page, and if you don't like it, you can just log off." If you're willing to put it out there publicly, shouldn't we be able to put your racist thoughts out there? Shouldn't people know that you think this way?
See, okay, I'm kind of torn a little bit. And what I mean by this is that I think that the point of putting out these thoughts, I think that maybe it's the way they're redoing it. Okay, let me rephrase that. Maybe it's the way they're doing it that I think is failing. It seems everybody thinks that has spoken so far. But I think by just putting out these negative thoughts, and it's like a thought just lingering out there, why put out just negativity out there with nothing else, with it or attached to it? Is that really going to change people's minds, or is it going to be that they read what they read what they see, and it maybe reiterates that horrific idea in their minds as well? Also, to children. I mean, children see it and they don't know that that's not acceptable. Oh, it's on a billboard. Like, it says nothing. So I think, if anything, it's just reiterating negative things. So there's a lot of people who, my grandma, for example, she was raised back in times where there was a lot of racism. And she said she remembers, like, people just saying things, and, even certain things, like, she's not racist, okay? But she remembers certain things, like, not knowing, even as a child, because it's just, you hear it, you see it. And then later learning what some things meant and feeling like, oh my goodness, that's awful. So is it doing that? Making something that's awful more familiar? Because if it's doing that, I think it's doing the exact opposite of what it's trying to do. However, there are certain things that I think could be brought to light, and maybe shaming is the best way to bring something that's done in secret. The Bible even talks about that, making it public, right? So there's that idea that I think that has some value, but I think that the execution of this is failing. And for example of where I think it could be valuable is there is such a thing as cyberbullying. And there has been some forums that have called that out. Well, could that be effective? And is there an effective way to call out racism? But maybe we also call out those comments, calling them out on Facebook. Like maybe there's a better way to do this.
Would you feel better
maybe the
about the
intent is
billboard?
good, but the delivery is missed.
Would you feel better about the billboard if we put up the same billboard, but there was a banner on top that says, "This guy's a racist. Stop it." Because I mean,
or like stop racism or something
kids
like
would see that too. And yeah, I hadn't thought about before the idea that
what about
that
like
kids would see it.
what are those red circles with a line through it, like over what this guy says? You know what
Well,
I mean? Something that gives a
here,
message.
Jen. It makes it harder to read.
Well, okay, but you know what I'm saying? There's stop hatred, stop racism, stop. I mean, yes, there needs to be some kind of disclaimer that calls it out as what it is.
Well, I guess maybe for kids, I think people who are driving by know what this campaign is already.
Do they, or if they agree with them, are they like, hey,
but
that guy's
if you
right.
know what the campaign is, you can know what the campaign is and disregard the campaign.
True.
Like, I happen to agree with what that guy is saying. You can do that. So for kids, yes, they don't know what the campaign is. Now you need to explain to them because there's not a lot of context. For an adult,
yeah,
you
like
have
if
enough.
Mariah saw
Right.
that, what would she think if she lived there?
She'd have some questions, and it would be a teaching moment. That'd be for sure.
Sure.
But what's problematic for me with something like this, especially if we did it in the United States, and there's no indication that this kind of thing is going to happen in the United States, although I have seen some back and forth billboards between different types of groups. And
Sure.
one group considers the other group a hate group, and the other group considers the other group like just sinful, and so it just kind of goes back and forth, this war of attrition, so to speak, or not war of attrition, war of words, that nobody is really listening to. But what if I see something like this, and I think it sets a precedent. Okay, we disagree with this person's words on his private Facebook page, whether it has public implications or not. So we're going to put it out there. We don't like what he's saying. Stop it. Okay. Well, we set the precedent on that. Well, we don't know what free speech is over in Brazil
Right,
and all that
but
stuff.
here, would it infringe that?
Well, absolutely, but you could do it. You could do it because
It's
you
public.
said it. It's public. We're going to do it. My question is, what happens once you start saying things like, you know what? I don't support Donald Trump. Oh, whoa, we don't like that. Let's put this up on a billboard and shame that guy. I don't like Benjamin Carson. Let's put that on a billboard. I don't like Hillary Clinton. Let's put that on a billboard and shame this guy. And so I think you set a precedent that says if we can shame you for this thing that we don't like over here, and again, it's everybody has different opinions about what's hate and what's not, what's okay and what's not okay. Once you set that precedent, now you're able to start attacking and shaming people publicly for things that you happen to disagree with and not like. I think we lost Kent.
We lost him.
Oh no.
Dang it. Let's see if we can find him again. Kara, your thoughts? I'm gonna try to find Kent.
Sure. I don't know if I have any more thoughts. I pretty much shared all of them. But I do appreciate you saying that, Calvin, because it is a good point that if we're to shame somebody every time they say something that we think is wrong or we disagree with, I guess we're making ourselves like I'm the line for what is ethically okay and what is not. And you could do that with any number of things. And it could, I feel like Facebook has already gotten out of control in that like everybody has a super strong opinion and they believe they are right about every single thing. And it's just not even fun for me to get on Facebook sometimes. I'm like, I just talk about like nice things. I don't want to talk about how like you are superior to me in every way because of your belief system or your political system. So if we could like keep that like out of the real life people when they can like just be on the computer say stupid stuff. And I mean, how many times have you like seen somebody trolling somebody else and you think like, are you really this much of a jerk in person? Just because you're on the internet, you say something, and, you know, you're without thinking, without caring what the consequences are, because you think, oh, I don't know that person, or they don't know me. But, you know, there are probably things that I put on Facebook before that I would be really embarrassed to have on a billboard if somebody put it up there, even if it wasn't racist. It was just a stupid comment or a mean comment or something. You know, I think we kind of probably everyone's put their foot in their mouth at some point and said something they wish they hadn't said. And, you know, who knows if that's the case or not with a lot of these quotes. I mean, I wanna believe that they are just one-off, really stupid comments, and not. I mean, I'm not so naive to believe that people don't really think that way. But in my heart, I want to think the best of people.
Yeah, and I've seen companies at this point. I mean, you hear from people saying, you know, in the professional world, don't put all your business out on Facebook, because now companies can say that's not the type of person that I want to hire, because they can go into your Facebook. A lot of companies actually ask if you have one now, which I believe is a total violation, but somehow they're able to skirt around. And there's like loopholes where they're able to do this. But I believe that there was a woman who had a video, and it was a picture she took, and she put it on her Facebook, and she was in a cotton field, and she was picking cotton, and she said something really vile. She said, bringing out our inner N-word, you know, because black people used to pick cotton, right? And people shamed her for it, and, you know, rightly so. I mean, well, maybe the shaming wasn't right, but she should feel ashamed for what she said. And the company that she was working for fired her, disassociated themselves from her. Okay. So if we live in this world now where someone can take a screenshot of what you said privately, and we're already in a world where a company can fire you for what you say on your Facebook page. But if you have your settings a certain way and a friend doesn't like what you have to say, I have friends who differ politically and religiously and think, you know, some very, very different things than I do. All they got to do is screenshot, post it up on a billboard, and boom, hey, that's Calvin Moore. He works in the front office. Maybe we don't want that guy representing us. So let's get rid of him. I think that you have a very, very slope. We're already on that slope. That slope. And so when I hear people saying things like this, I understand the heart of trying to, you know, hey, live with the consequences. Live with the consequences of your actions. You should feel ashamed for this, and we're going to make sure everybody knows you this way. So we change your behavior. Behavior modification is really, I guess, what you would call it. I don't think that changes a person's heart.
That might be what they're aiming for, but that doesn't mean that's what the result will be.
Right. I don't think it's the result at all. I think it's a really dangerous place and
I think
to go down.
I mean, my personal thought is it's as simple as this. What is the point in spreading that vileness, that negativity?
You're giving it more.
Does it really add to, or yeah, you're giving it more fuel, you know? To talk about something negative gives it a life itself, right? Sometimes. That doesn't mean that we just pretend that racism isn't real. I mean, sometimes we do need to talk about it. But to do it the way that they're doing it, I think it actually gives it feet more.
But at the same time, this happened in Brazil. And we're now here in the United States, in Michigan and in Texas, respectively, talking about a billboard in Brazil. So the conversation is, it
started, yes.
And we live in a viral world. So if you can put a billboard and make something go viral, you know, just because someone writes a story about it.
Well, but did it go viral because of the billboard or because of the story? Because I think it's the story that made it go viral.
But the billboard was incendiary enough. The idea was audacious enough that it
did it impact the community viral. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know. That's another question.
Because I think that it in that community, it just gives that racism, that vile statement legs.
It would be good
maybe
to hear
in the internet and the viral world, because like in the viral world, we read an article, we know what it's intended to do.
Right.
So that's a completely different experience than the one for the people living there.
I don't know. I mean, that says to me like, hey, you know what? us people in America, we're smart enough to get what this means. Those people who live in that community.
No. You are putting words in my mouth. That is not what I said.
That's how that came across.
No, that is not what I said.
So,
my point is, we, not meaning we as Americans, we as in we read an article.
Mm-hmm.
Our experience was not that we drove by that billboard and experienced just that billboard. Like, we did not experience the billboard. We didn't. We haven't seen it. We don't live in that community. We don't know what's going on in that community and if it's impacted it at all, 1 ounce, negative or positive.
Okay.
All we know is we read an article which told us what the intent is supposed to be, how we're supposed to react to it. We've been told what its intention is. We've been told how we're supposed to react to it. There's a vast difference of that versus a billboard that gives no direction as to how it's supposed to be perceived.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a good point.
So I think seeing it with no direction, again, there's nothing on there, whether they're, whoever made that billboard, you don't know if they're for it or against it. It's just what it is. So seeing that and having that impact the community, I think can also give legs and to the vulgarness that was spoken on it versus maybe impacting for change. See, we read an article, we know it's supposed to impact for change. So that's the mindset we have. But that doesn't mean that that's the mindset you have driving by.
Okay, that's fair. That's right. Okay. Well, I think we lost Kent, and I think we've come to a natural conclusion on this one.
Yes.
Spread good, not bad.
Spread love.
Spread love.
Not
We'll go to
hate.
hippies.
Tis
hippie
the season.
movement. Peace.
Although
Spread love, not hate.
in Australia, this is not peace.
In Australia?
In Australia, in New Zealand.
I think we should specify he is
this
making the
this
peace
is
sign.
a FU,
If anybody
apparently.
never.
I- I
This is-
do not know that to be the case.
Wow.
They still do the middle finger
Yeah.
in Australia.
Apparently, you did not do that the entire time you were there.
I'm sure I gave
Huh?
people lots of peace.
Yes, to do that.
Peace and blessings.
Yes, this is peace. This is FU.
Interesting. This is
Yes.
cut
Yeah, I didn't know
it out.
That is interesting.
I was working at a camp for